How are you? This is Afro Economics Live, and I am JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, one of the first exclusively 100% Black-owned registered investment advisory firms on this planet. We're celebrating 25 years of service and the creators of Afro Economics. Yes, my principles of Afro Economics are developed to create wealth and build wealth and have generational wealth within our community in America and abroad. Our influence, our ability, our potential is unlimited. And thank you for sharing your evening with me, because I really want to talk about Andrea and Carrie. I see y'all. I want to talk about how important it is for us to be careful with every dollar that we spend. The topic is shopping while Black. And amazing to me, look, I want to really share with you that I had no idea that shopping while Black is actually in Wikipedia. Yes, it is. And I was like, I guess somebody said it and then they didn't understand what it was. And they said, well, let's go out there and then let's make a Wikipedia on that. Shopping while Black, according to Wikipedia. Now we know what it is, but let's check this out. Shopping while Black, a phrase commonly used for the type of marketplace discrimination that is also called consumer racial profiling, consumer racism, or racial profiling in a retail setting. I love it. Shopping while Black describes the experience of being denied service or given poor service because one is Black, because the person is Black. Most commonly, shopping while Black involves a Black person being followed around or closely monitored by a clerk or guard who suspects he or she may steal. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's known. So it is known exactly what they're doing, and it's still happening to us. And then in the invitation where I sent to you, that I was actually looking at when I just I want to just know what's going on. I want more information on this. And there was an article done by The Guardian. It's at theguardian.com. And it says shopping while Black. And you saw this. And it said, yes, this was the headline, shopping while Black. Yes, bias against Black customers is real. So this, and then it's has a picture I'm gonna show. Because why don't I just allow technology to be used? So here's the article right here. Shopping while Black. Yes, bias against Black customers is real. Name a store, and I'll bet I can find a Black person who has experienced discrimination there. That's what this person, the writer of the article, Claytor, writes. Name a store. Seriously? The beauty chain Sephora recently became the focus of criticism when the singer SZA, I think that's how she says, I should know exactly, SZA. I've seen her perform, she's pretty good too, accused one of its employees of racially profiling her. But this was just one of the most recent racial profiling, because this has been happening forever. I've been a victim of racial profiling while shopping, repeatedly. It's just disgusting. I was telling someone the other day about going in a furniture store, just paying cash, giving them a check for something that wasn't going to be delivered until 2 weeks later, and they said no. They wanted me to set up financing. They did not and refused. So I said, well, just hold the check. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Hold the check, call the bank on Monday, make sure it's good. They said no, straight out no. The salesperson wrote me a letter afterwards to apologize, for what they did. Haverty's furniture. I don't know where you live, but that is exactly what Haverty's Furniture did to me. I mean, and then also had a BMW dealership do a similar situation to me. Like this, you know, these things are happening to us no matter how we dress, no matter what we look like. There's a sickness when they see us and they just make certain assumptions, and it's costing them in reality, because I don't go there. I didn't spend the money, went right up the street, you know, he didn't argue with the manager, didn't have to, you know, turn it into, I don't want to spend your money with me. So do you, with them. We don't have to spend our money. I did not buy a BMW when I found out that they were lying to me about the rates that were being charged. So we have to, that is the key point I want us to get out of shopping while Black, is that our money has power. And we don't have to boycott as a group in order for your boycott to make a difference. My personal boycott is significant. I am developing Afroeconomics and building this so that we can have a greater impact together. But you know, just because our village is small, like an African proverb says this, you know, just because the village is small, the sun still shines on it. If it's 1 or 2 or 3, like, we are still significant. The sun still shines on us. Our dollars matter. So it says a 2018 Gallup poll of Black Americans found that nearly 2/3 of Blacks, look, and then I brought it down for you and I gotta go back, of Black, 2/3 perceive that Blacks are treated less fairly than whites while shopping. 2/3, that's the overwhelming majority. A figure that is steadily increased over the past decade. It's getting higher. Black Americans found that they were being treated less fairly than whites, even today. When asked about being treated unfairly due to our race in the past 30 days, more Blacks reported unfair treatment while shopping than any other circumstance. Even interactions with the police had lower numbers at 21% of being treated unfairly versus while shopping at 29%. I mean, we have to realize this is a tragedy, but still you'll see over and over it's reported about how much spending dollars that we have. That over $1 trillion of spending power the Black community has, you know. Well, we have to make sure that we're very careful with how we spend that money. Because according to the things that we've been studying, and you saw when I did the discussion on the road to zero wealth, it shows that we as a people are more likely to spend our money on a consumer item. So these stores that are treating us poorly, unfortunately, know that if they make one of us mad, the other one will still come in and still spend the money. Because if we weren't spending the money, the attitude would not continue to perpetrate itself. It would have to stop. So we have to, as individually, take a responsibility to not allow ourselves to feel this way. 2/3 of us know it exists, but we're still spending money? So look at this, a 2006 ethnographic study of toy stores not only found that middle-class white women were often given preferential treatment, but also the study found that the police were never called on them, even when their behavior was aggressive. Never called on them. The police immediately, so obviously the police are called on us quickly. I've had the police call on me when they've made an error. So what I do is I make sure that I call the police when they make an error. When they do something to me, I was in a cleaner's one time and they made a mistake and they didn't have it ready and they still wanted to charge me when I came in to pick up the item. The lady came from behind the counter and pushed me across the lobby, pushed me with both hands. I sat down and called the police. And they asked me, did I want to charge her for assault? And she was shook. Right then. That is what we need. And did they ever see my money again? No. I had like repeatedly, I had one Asian lady, she was mad, same thing, didn't have the clothes ready when they promised. So if you say it's ready on Tuesday and I come on Tuesday and it's not ready and I come back on Wednesday and then it's ready. So this is, you know your guarantee is that it's free, but I'm not supposed to get it. She took my clothes, threw them on the floor and stomped on them. Stomped on them. Like, that is ridiculous. Like, that to have to just be a hardworking professional, to have this many examples of discrimination. I don't even have to go to their little articles of like incidents. Like, you go into the Wikipedia and it has incidents. In 1995, a young Black man shopping at Eddie Bauer store in suburban Washington, D.C., was accused of having stolen the shirt he was wearing and was told he would need to leave it behind before leaving the store. He filed a federal civil rights lawsuit alleging consumer racism and was awarded $1 million in damages. Eddie Bauer, you should be ashamed of yourself. In 2000, a Black man named Billy J. Mitchell was awarded $450,000 in compensatory and punitive damages from Dillard's for being arrested despite having done nothing wrong. Also in 2000, a Black woman unsuccessfully sued Citibank after she was detained for no good reason while making large purchases with her Citibank Visa card. This is sick. In 2002, researchers who conducted in-depth interviews with 75 Black people living in Black neighborhoods in New York City and Philadelphia found that 35% reported receiving consistently negative treatment when shopping in white neighborhood stores, compared with 9% who said they received consistently negative treatment in their own neighborhood. And in 2003, a paper called Racial Profiling by Racial Profiling by Store Clerks and Security Personnel in Retail Establishments, an Exploration of Shopping While Black. Sean Givadon, a criminologist, wrote that the majority of false arrest complaints filed in a retail setting in the United States are filed by African Americans. That's in their paper. In 2006, the analysis of federal court decisions involving marketplace discrimination in the state of Illinois found that both real and perceived racial discrimination existed in the Illinois marketplace. And in 2014, Macy's agreed to pay $650,000 settlement over claims that it had racially profiled customers. And in 2014, Barney's had agreed to pay $250,000 settlement over a similar claim. This is outrageous. And I know when it needs to be updated, so you have more and more on this Wikipedia. It should have more and more. And I mean, and then think about like the celebrities. Has R. Kelly said he told Jet Magazine that when he appeared in a Chicago shopping mall to sign autographs, the security guards took one look at the way I was dressed and the fact that I am a young Black man and thought he was a shoplifter. So sad. That was in 1992. Praying for you. In 2001, Oprah Winfrey told Good Housekeeping magazine about how she and a Black companion were turned away from a store while white people were being allowed in. In 2013, a shop assistant in Zurich allegedly refused to show Oprah Winfrey a $38,000 crocodile skin Tom Ford handbag that you shouldn't have been looking at anyway. That was showing $38,000. Go ahead, Tom. Goodness gracious. Tom Ford, he should be getting yours, Oprah. Oh my goodness. Oh, allegedly, they said that it costs too much. They told Oprah, it costs too much and you will not be able to afford it. I hope she ain't do nothing stupid and buy it anyway. Oh my goodness. Tom should have sent her about 20 of them. But it doesn't say. It says, however, the boutique sales assistant responded that Oprah lied about what happened in the store and where she works, specifically denying claim that she had told Oprah could not afford the leather purse. They're saying that it's not true. And they stated that she had asked if she wanted to see the bag, but that Oprah had not replied. Okay. We all know Oprah never lies. What are you talking about? And in 2007, Condoleezza Rice, in American Life, it was a biography about Condoleezza Rice. The author describes two shopping while black incidents when Condoleezza Rice was 6, and then a department store clerk tried to keep her mother from using a white fitting room. I mean, 6? Condoleezza, come on, like we know, we got some more. I mean, all of mine happened within the last 10 years or so. And another one, I know that Condoleezza Rice goes through it right now. She just might not know that, but right now, because most people don't even know what you look like right now. I would probably, but I don't know. I might think someone else. Like she just fits right in. You get it just like the rest of us. But then she says, when Rice as an adult was shown cheap jewelry by Palo Alto clerk rather than the better earrings that she had asked for. Oh, so she asked for a particular earring and then they switched it up and showed her the Palo Alto that I probably am wearing right now. They thought you were me. Yeah, girl. But, you know, you never know. They might have been right. I mean, you were just a government employee, like most of the people participating tonight. So they weren't like all the way off, like, but nobody has the right to tell us what we have our money or how we want to spend. You might want to spend your entire paycheck on your earrings. You're right. You might want to do that. But still, nobody else is going to get that. Even if it was a white female that was a government employee, they still would assume that they had the money to buy the best earring that they were interested in. They don't. Like, I get where you come into the store and they go, oh, the sale items are in the back. Does anybody else get that one all the time? Like, the sale items are over here. And it's like, we have just become, unfortunately, accustomed to their ignorance. It's just bad. It's ignorance on their part. You know, the racism and this stupidity hurts them and their potential of actually building profitable businesses. That's why people, you know, that's why we should not see it as, you know, why are you hurting me? Like, why are you stopping me from being able to buy this? I love this. You know, why, you know, like we need that. We don't need that. We don't know. We don't need anything that they have. And the fact that we don't realize that our money is so valuable to the system in general, to the American economy, is saddening to us because we've been robbed of that reality of how much our Black dollars matter. So they can convince you that your dollars don't matter, then we'll end up like I did when I bought my first Mercedes-Benz, and the dealership, it took me 3 Benz. I bought 3 Mercedes-Benz from this ignorant Mercedes dealership in Richmond, Virginia, with horrible, I mean, less than horrible service for me to say, I'm never going to buy another car from you ever in my life. They repeatedly were disrespectful to me. And every time I would come in, no matter how much I spent with them, 3 Benz deep, and I still can't get a loaner vehicle. You disgusting people. They were doing it blatantly because they knew they did. I would see people come in with old vehicles would look like no intention, 80 years old, white people, and they would give them a loaner car and say, we have nothing for you, nothing, and figure it out. Because it was kind of like, you shouldn't even be in this car anyway kind of attitude. So anybody out there that believes that the color of money is green is ignorant, because it's not true. There is a lot of people who do not want your money just simply because you're Black. It is a sickness of theirs, yes, but they have that right. When you look at the laws protect retailers. Retailers do not have a requirement to provide you any level of service. None. You cannot, sue them for not giving you service. I cannot sue them for not letting me have access to a loaner vehicle, but you gave access to the others. You can't, you just try to, I guess what happens is people try to get the media involved and humiliate them to death. So the media, then they go, well, we're going to do this because they want to do something to make it look good. But it doesn't change. And in many cases, if you look at the research, like on the Starbucks and the diversity training, there was a Starbucks issue, the diversity training that they do, there's no evidence that proves that those things make anything any better. And they don't see where they've done a better job of hiring more Black people and things like that. And diversity doesn't mean that they have to hire people that look like you. It doesn't. Diversity is such a broad term. If you want an institution to hire Black people, you have to ask for Black people. You have to ask them, how many Black people do you have? How many descendants of slaves do you have working here? That's what you have to ask. If that is important to you the way it should be. And that's why we need our businesses to be on point. Because as we build our economy, your business is in the position for hiring people and creating products and providing services to people that look like you, and then you don't have that mental defect of feeling that because of the way I look, I don't deserve to be served. Elizabeth said that you were with Sam from the 1 million. I love it. And you were having a conversation about these things last night. Isn't that true? That we spend mostly outside of our own communities. Isn't it true that we spend mostly outside of our communities? I'm sure. And there's big reasons for that, deep reasons for that, because we don't have enough of our own businesses. And I believe that it is okay to spend outside of your community, but it is not okay to spend outside of your community and they do not treat you right. And they do not appreciate your business. I believe that we have a responsibility to teach people that don't look like us how to treat us if they don't know. Now, I have many of white professionals that I enjoy doing business with all the time, but they know how to treat me. They know how to treat my customers. Because if I'm putting a customer into a product, then typically it is a product that may be publicly owned, that's publicly traded on the stock exchange, and then it's gone beyond. It's gone beyond a color. It's gone beyond on all of the shareholders who own part of that company. So Amazon, the majority shareholder may be a white person, but Amazon is owned by everybody who owns shares in it. So we start looking at ourselves on that level, like if I own shares, like when I go into a company that I own stock in, I say, as a shareholder of this company, I am disgusted and disappointed with the service that I received. And that's many, and we have to think about that. When you're you probably own it yourself through your mutual funds at work. Do you know what stocks you're in? Do you know what companies you're supporting, you're a shareholder of? That you have, that you're depending on them doing good business. You don't want them in the headlines doing something ignorant to your people. They have a responsibility. You need to know what companies you're invested in. Look deeper, look deeper. And Miss Bussy said, I try to shop online whenever I can. Yeah, buddy. You are talking to an online fanatic. Yes, indeed. I try to use all my time effectively. I also believe that when we shop online, we use our money more effectively because we allow the emotion to get out of the way. Let me give you some tips I want to make sure that I share before you leave me. So I feel these are some things that I want us to get out of this discussion on shopping while Black. It is real. We're being discriminated against. There are people out there with mental problems who have stereotypes that are embedded deeply within them. And we have to make sure that when those things happen, we remove ourselves from the situation. Remove ourselves from the situation. Do not get emotionally involved in that person's disorder. So, and then pray that is not a situation like where you saw, where they're accusing you of stealing something that you did not steal. And if it is, then we know we have to stay calm, go play along, and then do what you got to do to get yourself out of that situation, which is sick thought to think that brother was arrested for wearing his own shirt in the store. That's sad. And the sad part of it is that I have thought about that when I've gone in a store where I've purchased the item from. And then I've thought, what if they think that that this is their item? How do you prove that when it's like you've had it already? And this is something uniquely, that is a challenge that we're dealing with. Because my white friends would never worry about something like that. It's, but that's real. That's real. And no matter how successful, no matter how high we get in government, however popular you are and however you think, you have to remember when Doug Wilder was the first Black governor for the country, he was thrown up against the wall, going through an airport. And they had no idea who he was. So it doesn't matter. You have these famous people that these things are happening to, but I just feel that we have a responsibility to stay humble and to realize that we are Black. Ultimately, no matter what, no matter how much I've accomplished, I'm Black, and that's how I'm seen. So some key points. We are most likely to purchase consumer products, but yet we don't know our power, that what will happen if we don't spend. So we're more likely than any other group to spend money on these products and quickly. Don't spend it. If they're not treating you right, don't spend it. Tell me. I want Afroeconomics to grow and be a stronger consumer advocacy group so that when we do individually go through an experience, you can reach out and know, let me bring this to Afroeconomics. Let me bring this to my members and we can talk this through. That's why I am one of the million. Definitely consider October 11th, coming to that, just outside of DC, coming to the convention, and let's start getting ready to vote. And then establish your standards, establish how you want to be treated, how you deserve to be treated, and make sure if this is not the standard, don't be like me, well, just continue to go back because you want that particular car. No, go somewhere else. Don't do that. I had to learn that the hard way. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go do something else. And now you can buy things and they'll bring it, even a car, right to your place. So get away from those environments and don't feel pressured to get the approval of people. I remember that, like going into places and, they're treating you, they treat you like you can't afford this. So, you know, why are you here? And, you know, they're trying to, in many situations I've seen that some stores are really nice stores. I haven't had any problem with Saks. You know, you go into Saks and they might be thinking, but I don't care about what you're thinking. Just give me the service that I deserve. I've had, and Nordstrom's has had some issues, and I have had some issues with Nordstrom's where they will just straight ignore you if you don't look a particular way. And what I have to do in those situations is turn on my off button. Just turn it off. Like it's like something, some weakness that wants me to try to prove something to that person. That, see, you thought I couldn't get it, I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? I don't have, so I want you, don't feel pressured to get their approval, to prove anything to them. Take you and your money out of that place. See, that's the stuff that we do when we're young, but now we're grown and we know that they need to fight to come between us and our money. Because most of these things that we're buying, they're not doing anything for us. They're not increasing in value. They're not going to be worth anything more than they are that day that you buy it. They're going to be worth less. Those consumer products are not going to create any additional income for us. So make them fight to come between you and your money. And remember to never spend emotionally. And your personal boycott is enough. Don't feel like your purchases or your decision not to purchase doesn't matter, because our decision to turn our back on racial discrimination, it does matter. Your individual decision matters. And make sure that you read everything that you sign. Things that aren't written here is the things that having contracts that are given to us that aren't the same contract that's given to someone else. That's on a whole nother level, but that is true. You know, and we have to be careful. So we'll have guidelines or contracts or contingencies that are in our contract that can be much more strict than it would be for another consumer. But because you're Black, they want to make sure that they protect themselves and they set you up for failure. Be careful. Don't set yourself, don't let them do it. Be careful what you sign. Read everything. So make sure if you have any questions for me about anything, or you're interested in becoming a member of the Comprehensive Financial Planning of Afro Economics, please let me know. If you have any investment questions, anything, just let me know. Sharon said, I try to shop online. That's right. Ms. Common says, you have to be intentional with how and where you spend your dollars. Indeed. And Sharon said, truth. You are so correct about consumer goods that lose value. I say invest that money or travel. Oh, okay. It's travel or get the hell out of here, right? I appreciate you, Ms. Douglas. Good to see you. Dr. A, Mike Rob, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Yes, indeed, we got our entrepreneurs in there. Yes, indeed, JC Jumpers in the house. Val, Ron, Andrea, Barbara, Demetrius. And what's with the phone numbers? 301. Like, I should put your whole phone number out there. Somebody call you. We got 301-804-202. Well, I just know that Afro Economics is making an impact. And I hope that y'all will definitely check out the 1 million. Make sure you go to the website, click on this, and we'll go straight to the 1 million website, and let's get ready. Let's get ready for October 11th, 12th, and 13th. Let's get empowered and let's have a good time. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. You are making an impact. You make it possible. Good night. Good night. Thank you. Y'all be blessed. And I look forward to next week. Thank you, Dr. A.